Ohio State plays Northwestern coming up this weekend. He's head coach of the Buckeyes, Urban Meyer, back on the show. Coach, how are we?
Good, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Is there anything bad about having two good quarterbacks?
Nothing bad, especially I can imagine if you had some issues with agendas and maybe parents or uncles or those type of people. But I've had it twice. I've had that luxury with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, and then this year with Braxton and Kenny.
Can you bring in Kenny to help Braxton play them at the same time like you did Tebow and Leak?
We really didn't do it at the same time. We rotated them a little bit. They were two different, unique. One was a curveball. I used to call it Tim because he was completely different than Chris, and it really gave a defense a hard time to prepare for both. But Kenny and Braxton are very similar in their skill set, and I do want to do it. I even thought about it last week, but the game never presented that situation. But Kenny's certainly ready to go.
There's a chance you could do it this weekend?
Sure.
Oh, you would bring Tebow in goal line situations, right? He'd add that little jump pass. He would replace Leak.
Yeah,
at
but
the goal line?
he'd probably get 15 to 20 snaps. It was more just a change up where it was more single wing offense back then, where it was just we would plus numbers with we would I remember threw two touchdown passes against LSU. One was a post where we sell the quarterback running, pop back and threw it because you got real unique, got real easy coverages to read because they were so concerned against the run.
You're so good at offense. Go back to certainly with where you've been, Utah. I mean, we can go all these different places where you were bringing up something different offensively. Where are we going college-wise with offense, and how will that parallel what happens in the NFL?
Well, I drank the Kool-Aid too with this tempo about more plays. I never wanted to do it. I'm a kind of old-fashioned guy that believes in the huddle and believes in. I had Pouncey and Tim Tebow, and those are incredible leaders that I didn't. To take away the no huddle. There's still something part of the game where you look at your brother in the eye and say, "Hey, let's give it everything we got." That's still a big part of football. Unfortunately, though, it's kind of that's starting to disappear a little bit with these no huddles. You get as many plays as you can and wear out people, and not allowing substitution or these. Defenses got so good, Dan, in the last few years that you allow teams to substitute their nickel and dime packages with these real creative blitz packages. It's we find it almost impossible to block, so we're trying to keep them out of that. And one way is the tempo.
But I think the NFL takes from college, not the other way around. This read option, are you buying that on a pro level? Is that something that you think is a fad like the Wildcat, or can you see that sticking there?
I've seen elements of it sticking. I think, you can see this year teams have worked real hard on it, and then there's you can eventually stop everything, and I see teams defending it much better. I haven't really watched it this year. I watched it last year, and you could tell some people had no idea what they were doing. And as a result, some big plays. San Francisco, we watched every snap of their offense a year ago. It was amazing how teams just couldn't adjust. There was a lot of effort by people to defend it, and are defending it much better. So I don't think it will be full-time, but I think there will always be elements of it now.
Would you want a Johnny Manziel type, the style on the field? I'm not talking about personality as much as his style and trying to coach that style.
Oh, I love Johnny Manziel from what I know about him. I just like the fact that he's loves the game of football and that he plays very passionately, and obviously his skill set's incredible.
But can you coach it, though? Where he improvises, that seems to be what he does so well. Or is he improvising? Or is that something that you would actually try to script for a quarterback like that?
Well, I think Kevin Sumlin, a friend of mine, does a great job. I have never asked him that. The guys, I'm trying to think, Tim had a little bit of that in him where, you don't overcoach it. You go be a football player and you teach them more things not to do as opposed to how to do it. They'll throw in late across the middle of the certain situations where just get plus yardage instead of, improvising too much. But I think football's still a game made for guys who love to play, and his skill set is very, very good for who he is.
He's Urban Meyer. They got Northwestern coming up this weekend. It's been a topic of, powerhouses, if you're going to face, name the school. You guys played Florida A&M. What do we do to make this better for college football? I know that they need a payday. You guys need an opponent, but should those games count maybe towards bowl eligibility? Or is there something that can be a deterrent maybe where we don't have those games where you have blowouts like that?
That's a great question, Dan. I haven't given much thought to it. I've been at Bowling Green, and Bowling Green, I don't want to disrespect Bowling Green because it's an awesome place, but it's reality that paydays help drive a budget, and paydays help drive training table. Paydays help get you, uniforms, and not just for football. So that's reality. So I'm still maybe not 1AA or maybe, but still, once again, then 1AA teams deserve that opportunity. I really believe. I think you're going to have blowouts once in a while.
Yeah, but I have no problem North Dakota State and some of these powerhouses. It's just you get these programs that have no business facing somebody great, and then you have a running clock when Louisville's playing. I mean, I worry about those kids going in and getting embarrassed, maybe getting hurt, and all, just for a payday. So,
very legitimate concern. Very, very legitimate. But who knows what? By the time you schedule them, who knew that?
That's true.
There was a time where FIU was playing in a bowl game.
Can you go out like you're, on the road? Could you walk out and say, "I'm going to go out and get coffee or something," and not be bothered? Nobody would recognize you.
Oh, you always ask great questions. Yeah, sure.
Wait, so in Evanston, tomorrow morning, you could walk out and just walk around?
No, I couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that?
No, not there. No, there's certain places.
Ann Arbor?
Oh, I'd have to have security with it.
How serious does it get, though, with that rivalry? And try to explain it to people that it means everything to these two programs when you face one another.
Oh, it is everything it's built up to be. I guess I understand it so much because I grew up as far back as I remember. Not saying that name. Just that's the way it is. I remember that back I'm 49 for 46 years. That's the way I was raised.
You never even say the word.
No.
What if one of your players says Michigan?
10 push-ups.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, man.
And then a stern conversation.
What'd you think when you heard Lane Kiffin got fired?
Oh, my first reaction is that just the families and the head coach gets all the publicity, but the head coaches are financially usually taken care of. I immediately go to the assistant coaches and their families because I've been there.
Well, mid-season, too. Not even mid-season to get fired.
Yeah, that's a tough situation.
Well, do you think we'll ever have a death penalty again, like we had with SMU? Or what we're doing now, is that considered sort of a death penalty for these programs?
I think there have been some. I don't think we'll have another death penalty. I think the NCAA's, in a very tough situation. Believe it or not, I'm kind of a pro-NCAA guy. I think they're doing. I wish they continue to be very firm. It's been through civilization that the only way to have people conform to laws or rules is a very fast, effective, and swift and very firm punishment. And so they know that the risk-reward is not there. That's the only possible way to do it. It's not de-legislate. It's not to de-emphasize or just let everybody do what they got to do. But I think they're heading in the right direction. I think they should be very firm.
Can you come up with a plan that pays players?
I kind of liked when we had the $2,000 stipend. I thought that was going to go through. I voted for it absolutely. The problem is, once again, though, I have two daughters who play college volleyball. I've coached at schools where it's very hard even to support training table. And when you start saying, "Oh, we're going to pay $2,000," what you're going to pay every athlete in that school, then, or are you going to get sued? So it's very tough.
Yeah, I can't see it happening, Coach. I just, how do I value Braxton Miller to, the Cody Kessler at USC? Are we going to do a system where somebody's worth? What's Johnny Manziel worth? If you just had a salary attached to Johnny Manziel for his worth at Texas A&M, I mean,
enormous.
I mean, $20 million. I mean, they brought in $700 million this offseason.
Enormous.
Yeah. So if you're going to pay them, that's the hard part I have is how do you decide? And you got these other programs as well where you're trying to pay them as well. Great to visit with you. Good luck against Northwestern, and thanks for joining us, Coach.
Always enjoy it, Dan. Thank you.
All right, Urban Meyer, the Ohio State football coach.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.